friends, Miss Mayra here from the Ventura County Mobile Library. How are you today? Happy Earth Day. Today is Wednesday. We're shooting this video on Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, which is Earth Day. We're celebrating Earth Day today, and that's why we're outside. So today, friends, because it's Earth Day and the books I've been choosing lately have to do with ocean and ocean animals, I thought something very important we can talk about is water pollution. So today for our STEM activity, we'll be creating our own little mini version of an oil spill to talk and understand a little bit more about water pollution, okay? So give me a minute and I will let you know what you will need for this little activity today. Okay friends, here we are. This is what you will need in order to recreate our little oil spill for you to understand a little bit more about water pollution, okay? You will need a clear recipient, clear bin, or if you have a plastic one, it's fine. I had another glass one, so make sure if you have a glass one, you talk to your grown-up. I grabbed some rocks from my front yard right there just to pretend, and I grab a little weed from the front yard as well, and I just because in the ocean we have plants as well, right? So I wanted to make those pretend. You can arrange them, and then I also had an orca, so you can grab a marine animal if you have a marine animal, or you can just pretend, or if you don't have one, you can just draw one on your rock and pretend those are your little fish or your little ocean animals. All right, what else do we need? We need some garbage for later right there from your morning, from your breakfast. This is optional. It's blue food coloring, so it's really optional. It's up to you if you want to use it or not. You really don't need it. What you will need is in this little recipient here, I have mixed some cooking oil with some cinnamon to make it make it look like real oil. Well, I mean, it is oil. I meant like, like an oil spill. You can also mix it with cocoa powder. I didn't have any cocoa powder, so I used some cinnamon. There we go. Perfect. So now we have, oh, and then last but not least, if you have a towboat, that's awesome. I am just so you can see that we reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm using the STEM activity we did last time, which is our little origami boat for our boat challenge. So there we go. Now we will go ahead and start with the procedures. Okay friends, once you have everything set to go, you've set up your little ocean, your animals, your rocks, your plants, what we're gonna have, and I have a helper today who's gonna help me. This is my oldest, who's gonna help me pour the water. Can you please pour the water inside our little pretend ocean there? So you can slowly pour the water there, and it's so cool to see it, how it fills up. You can use it all the way slowly, and in the meanwhile he's filling that out, I will drop and see if my water turns blue if I drop a bit of food coloring in there. Oh yeah, you did. Let me do a couple more. There, our water turned blue. Perfect. That's okay. The fin can stay outside because and that can be our pretend kelp forest right there. It can be our islands. There is some transient orcas have been seen in the islands because it's such a rich place for all our ocean animals, and this can be our pretend kelp forest right there. Okay, so there's our ocean. You see it? I can't tell because I can't see it. Can you see it? There it is, nice and beautiful and clear, right? So now what's going to happen? Now let's pretend Carlos, oh, he forgot to recycle that. So he just dumped it on the street and it ended up running in the, in the watershed, and ended up in the ocean. Let's see, who else? Chloe forgot her, what is this? Her banana. Oh, she didn't really look when she threw it in the trash, ended up on the floor, ended up in the ocean. And what's another good name? Let's see. I don't know. Miss Mayra was eating these little things, and she did not look good, and there they went. Sometimes, what is this? Eggshells. Yeah, we had some eggs for your breakfast, and oh, somehow they didn't make it to the trash. Where did they end up? In our ocean. So now we have polluted our ocean. Is it nice and clear? Eh. Now, that's one way to pollute the ocean with our own trash. It doesn't end up in the right spots. Another way, friends, is, you know, a lot of the things we consume, which is a big word for things we buy that we use, come from different parts of the world. And guess, what do you think they come in? Yes, some come through airplanes, and that's a different type of pollution. But a lot of them come in cargo ships. And these cargo ships, what do you think they use to run? Yes, some of do use certain fuels, and some of them carry oil in them. Let's not get started about the actual pumping of the oil from the seafloor. That's a different topic. But today we're just gonna pretend our oil spill will be coming from this ship, okay? So there's our ship. It's carrying so many goodies, toys, food. What else? Oh, so many things that we consume and have friends come from so many other places. So, oh, it happened. Something happened to the ship, and oh no, it tipped and is going to sink. But what's going to happen? Do you see what's happening? Do you see the oil being out now? And let's pretend that our friends, the rescuers, came and they were able to save the ship and they will take it out. But still, do you see all that oil right there? I will put it up this way so you can see it. There we go. So now, let's think about it. How can we clean that oil? Can we clean this mess we've made? What do you think? Let's figure out, think about it, and then we'll come back in a second, see what you came up with. All right, friends, so we're back now. How can we clean this mess up? Okay, well, maybe the first part would be, what do you think we could have done? We can take out the trash, that's for sure. So instead of this eggshell ending up in the landfill, what do you think we could have done with it? We could have used it as a planter to start our seeds out. These eggshells are also really good friends for plants. So if you have a yard and you have some plants in it, you can just, you know, crumble it up and throw it in your plants, and that helps them a lot to grow. So that could have been one thing. What about our banana peel? What do you think about that? If you have a compost, that's a big word for when we use food scraps or certain fruit peels and other things like grasses and leaves to use it, and you use it as a fertilizer. Eventually, with lots of time, it will turn into fertilizer for your plants. So that's something we could have used in that way. What about this? If you look at the bottom, if you can tell, there's a little, if you see, oh, I can't tell, but usually, oh, it's not at the bottom. Where is it? Usually on the side or somewhere, it will show, oh, here it is. I see it. Do you see it? It's a little triangle, and that usually gives you a clue. It's very slippery because of the oil, friends. That usually gives you a clue to see if it's recyclable or not. If it has that little triangle right there, it means you can go in your recycling bin. So this we could have thrown in the recycling bin. Okay, we're almost there, right? Well, what about this trash? Oh, I don't know what to tell you guys about Miss Mayra's trash. This is very hard. This definitely, I think, belongs in the trash. And what's another way Miss Mayra could avoid to make this trash? Well, Miss Mayra, maybe instead of having this delicious fruit gummy snacks, maybe you should have just bought a fruit that's locally grown. That's another big word. Locally grown means it was grown in a farm that's near, that grows within where you live, right? Instead of eating this, I could have had a real fruit and used those peels for our garden. Very good. Okay, so we get all the trash out, friends. Now what? How can we clear the oil up? What about a cotton ball? Should we try to use a cotton ball and see if we can get some of the oil out? Oh, look at that, friends. Ugh. Can you see that? Can you imagine how many cotton balls we're going to need in order to take all that oil out? I don't know, friends. A spoon? Yeah, you could try to spoon the oil out. Now let's try a sponge. Okay, I grabbed this sponge. Let's see if the sponge absorbs any of the oil. Oh, that worked a little better. Yeah, we're trying to get that oil out. Oh, but you know what? As much and as hard as I try, do you think it's ever going to look like we did at the beginning? No, friends, I don't think so. And imagine, not only whales and fish, and how can we clean the whales? There's no way to clean them. We can't take out the whales and clean them out. Obviously, there's smaller animals like, what can I think of? Like some type of birds and some type of marine mammals, you know, like sea lions or sea otters, that yes, with human help we can clean up, but a lot of fish and a lot of our orcas, what's going to happen, friends? It will never look again the same. So I don't know, friends. Now let's talk about it a little bit for a moment before we go. Okay, friends, so that was our little lesson on water pollution. You know, it's a very important topic to talk about with our little ones. You're never too young to learn about you know, taking care of our earth. We only have one planet. We got to take care of it precisely for our younger ones and our future generations. I hope you enjoyed that later, but I hope this starts conversations in your family about, you know, everyone can do something, from very simple things to larger things, you know, like using a water bottle. Like, I don't know if you see me on my story times, I have my pink kitty water bottle, that way we don't have to use water bottles. Little simple things you can always do. Maybe I'll spend the rest of the month about talking about different little things we can do to help Mother Earth. So thank you so much for joining me. We will see you the next time. Thank you. Have a great day and happy Earth Day.